Welcome to What's Up Punk, where we take a look at the myriad of subgenres underneath the umbrella of punk. Today we'll be looking at Dieselpunk. Let's gas up the flying battleship and pick up some femme fatales. What is Dieselpunk? Think if Marvel or DC still had the overall tone and story points of the golden age of heroes, but made them with modern styles. And yeah, that. Exactly that. It's definitely related to the more popular and well-known cousin steampunk, but diverges not only in the era it's based off of, and the technology it focuses on, i.e. diesel not steam, but in the overall mood. Steam being placed firmly in the Victorian era, it deals with a bit more idealism. Steampunk represents the endless adventure and the potential for technology, while diesel is that, but it also represents the repercussions of technology in the face of automation, war, and social change. Technology. If you are a weapon nut, this is the punk for you. It's grittier, grimmer, edgier than Steam, says the member of the Dragonfly Armory in the packed Dieselpunk 101 panel at DragonCon 2013. They're a group of cosplayers committed to their aesthetic. Everyone carries weapons, grenades, flamethrowers, handguns, shotguns, machine guns, you name it, says Dragonfly Armory. Dieselpunk loves weaponry, but not just the weapons you can hold in your hands, anything the creative participant can find. Not joking, spider tanks, anti-grav interceptors, mechs, jetpacks, flying everything, cars, bikes, battleships, all found at Dieselpunk, and all awesome. Now, while Dieselpunk loves weapons, I think it's defined not only by the diesel engine, but by flight. It takes very much the central stage in D-Punk as a focus on technology, not surprising, as flight for the time period D-Punk is based around was the ultimate expression of freedom and war. It's the Malcolm Reynolds, Howard Hughes of it all. Not only do you have the nerve to go anywhere and do anything, but you have the know-how to get there and make it back alive. And hopefully with a little bit of style. Not surprising that D-Punk has flying everything. One thing that is not part of Dieselpunk is transistors. Anything that runs on transistor tech is not part of Dieselpunk. It's a golden rule of this version of punk, and has a punk of its own. Transistor punk.
It's about transistors. You dig?
I'm going to be doing this show for a very long time, aren't I? Aesthetic. The Flying Fortress says that Dieselpunk can be divided into two primary themes, or styles, Otzian and Pycraftian. The divided line between the two themes is commonly acknowledged as the start of World War II. Pycraftian, named after its proponent author, Pycraft, focus on the aesthetics of world wars, and the speculation of how human culture would theoretically cease to evolve due to constant warfare. See Avatar's Last Airbender's Fire Nation. According to Otzian and Pycraftian, these themes continue with the aesthetic of the diesel era into later periods of history by describing a world where survival, largely based on relevance of diesel power, is placed above aesthetical evolution. See Mad Max. Otzian, after its prominent Nick Ottson, represents the more optimistic form of Dieselpunk. Progress seems to be unstoppable and future is bright. Things are designed to be stylish and opulent, ornamental and efficient at the same time. In either form, the artistic styles that serve as the aesthetic foundation of these styles include Pulp Fiction, genre not film, the two-fisted man adventure kicking ass in a biplane with beautiful women against exact locales. So Nathan Drake if you actually got to keep the treasure once in a while. Film serials, film noir, lights through window blinds, detectives in fedoras drinking bourbon. The classics. To World War II art and propaganda. Military and paramilitary also count, especially related to genre icons. Dieselpunk enthusiasts construct these artistic creations on top of these building blocks. The punk in Dieselpunk is a postmodern phenomenon, and intends to blend the inspiration with contemporary ideas and style. Basically, what would the Youngbloods do with our modern tastes and ideas in a gritty world that's not only tearing itself apart, but also discovering itself? A world of war and fear, but also of endless avenues of adventure and proving one's own self-worth. Now, where did Dieselpunk start? The term Dieselpunk was popularized by Lewis Pollock and Dan Ross in the 2001 as the genre for their RPG, Children of the Sun. Pollock stated that he intended it to be a darker, grittier side of steampunk, and should be considered the continuum between steampunk and cyberpunk. It's funny to see how things have grown, as COS has elements not traditionally found in Dieselpunk. Like magic. And I don't mean like Lovecraftian magic either. I mean friggin' elves. As Pycraft would say in a discussion with Odson on their different views of Dieselpunk, the fans of steampunk genre adopted Pollock's term definitively to structure and give substance to the genre existing within an interbellum period that had prior to this not been officially recognized as a genre, but as more of a spin-off or offshoot of steampunk in later years, or as simply alternative history fiction. And the purpose for this was most of the themes observed in Dieselpunk literature were war and the process leading up to that, as well as the consequences that followed it, including the Cold War and potential nuclear holocaust. I think the first clear distinction that put Dieselpunk on the conscious map of pop culture was the release of Sky Captain: The World of Tomorrow. It is humorous to notice how many other films and literature as well as games share the same retro-futuristic themes found therein prior to this film having become popular and released. But this film seems to have made its mark as the first definitive, accepted Dieselpunk movie. We also have a little The Song Remains the Same here, as I find it fascinating that cyberpunk came out largely because some punks thought the idealistic future of SF at the time was tripe. So steampunk, something that is a bit shiny, eventually having its own offshoot that's a bit nastier, is, to me, fascinating. Real-life Dieselpunks. Dieselpunk has a thriving cosplay community, but not nearly as much as steampunk, but that's not surprising as it's still young and I hope to see it grow. There's also a beer company that bears the name and makes a honey amber I would really like to try one day. And there are people out there modding cars with older looks but modern technology and techniques. It's a start to some fun retro future tech. My recommendations. The New Albion Radio. Holy crap, I'm 100% sure the New Albion Radio Hour was made for me. An epic diesel rock opera with everything I could want. I won't spoil it for you, I'm just going to say that it's part 2 of 3. If you like Atomic Punk, check out 3. If you like Steampunk, check out 1. I haven't, but I damn sure will. Run it! Tyson Hesse's Diesel comic. Not to be confused with this Diesel comic. To all the Atop the Fourth Wall fans, thank you for getting that reference. Anyway, Tyson Hesse of Amazing World of Gumball and Bravest Warrior fames, Diesel is a fun little romp with some dark forebodingness on the horizon. Fun characters, plus feels like a punkier version of Scott Pilgrim. And birdmen that strap anti-grav diesel engines to fly. Enough said. Next up, the Rocketeer. Yes, I'm aware it's crap. However, it's entertaining crap. It's like Taco Bell or Del Taco. Not much meat, but damn if it's not tasty. And I hear it was adapted into a half-decent comic, so good on you, kid. Doc Savage be proud. Now, how do I feel about Dieselpunk? I freaking love it. I freaking love it. I love the fantastical that can shit from dark to light. I love noir stories, pulp heroes, jazz, and old serials. This is honestly just as great as cyberpunk is to me. I wish I could say I had always been a fan, but my love comes from doing this show. When I first heard about it, I left it off as Uncle Sam and the Freedom Fighters with fascists won the war yet again. No, we haven't seen that. Alternate future histories. Ugh. Forgetting that a lot of badass junk came out of those ears. Not only did technology improve quickly because it had to, but pulp heroes, the best heroes, the popularization of what we call noir, and some of my favorite stuff, which I will fanboy much more over once we get to Decopunk. Oh yeah, I still got tons more to go through. I'm also a big weapons fan, from the intimacy of a hidden blade to the efficiency of a P90, and this is most certainly the punk for me. If I had a complaint, it's that Gust hasn't made a badass Dieselpunk RPG because I think they would do an amazing job with the setting. I also didn't find a lot of Dieselpunk that had a lot of horror to it. You think the two would go really well together. Now for my own little bit of Dieselpunk art. Cover 2, Gundam, Diesel Wars. And before I leave you today, our sign-out question. Is Mad Max Fury Road Dieselpunk? My answer? I have no goddamn idea. I know what I said earlier with Piecraft, but largely the Dieselpunk canon is Utterson. It, at least in looks, even if the whole world's at war. I mean, first I'd say no, because there's usually some type of society in Dieselpunk. But yes, they do wage war, which is part of Dieselpunk, and maybe they don't have a formal-ish military, they do have war parties. No, there's no retro future tech. Except in the wasted-ass future, any tech you're using you didn't make, yourself out of leftovers, could be considered retro future tech. Yes, diesel engines do things that are basically, magic, especially in a future where replacement parts are impossible. Wouldn't this beat Atom Punk, like Fallout, which had a lot of its early concepts from Mad Max and still pulls from it today? The Gigahorse is a behemoth held together by wielding two separate caddy, coupe de ville bodies. That's knee deep in the atomic age car. Yes! But it's still powered by diesel. And this is weapons porn and car porn, which are porns that fit very well in the Dieselpunk worldview. I'm at a loss. The only thing I could say is 65, maybe gun to my head, 75% Dieselpunk. 25% not given the current Dieselpunk worldview. I try not to do this, but if we can bring back a past clip. With Dieselpunk fitting very well into the wasteland, Dieselpunk may find its way looking more like this than this in the future, especially since the wasteland is a setting we all know well and can imagine easier than a future interbellum era. However, that's my opinion. Put yours down in the comments, get a discussion going, or just call me a dick. Well, this has been What's Up, Punks. Next week, we'll be going deeper into the Chaos Theater to a little watering hole I like to call Rantasmagoria. But when we come back to What's Up, Punks, we'll be taking a look at Cape Punk. Till next time, chap and outer god, spend some time creating something splendid but impractical, throwing some clothes from the retro future past, and keep on being a no-good, dirty punk. You know it, you love it, here's the spiel, let's do it. Hit subscribe to be my subscriber. Hit the bell so you know when I've actually posted stuff. Still no idea why those two things are separate now, but whatever. And of course, hit like to appease the algorithm gods. All fear and praise. On a list of whatever YouTubes, I am also probably not going to get any ad revenue for these videos, so if you would be so kind, check out that Patreon and the GoFundMe. Links in the description.